All right, Jimmy Garoppolo in the news as he continues to be on the 49ers roster. $25 million total compensation package for 2021. Greg Bedard recently suggested, this news came to us by way of our friends and colleagues at NBC Sports Bay Area, that plan A for the New England Patriots at quarterback is to find a way to get Jimmy Garoppolo. And frankly, Chris, I think they can get him simply by sitting and waiting. You're not going to trade for a $25 million compensation package. Same as Tom Brady. You're not going to trade for that. Nobody's going to pay him that this year. So you sit and you wait for Jimmy Garoppolo to get cut. And you know what? If there's a way to let Don Yee, agent for Garoppolo and Brady, know that there's a landing spot in New England, if he does get cut, then that emboldens Yee and Garoppolo to say, we're not taking a pay cut if you want us to take a pay cut. You're just going to have to cut me. So there's a path. It's not all that complicated. Does it make sense, though, for the Patriots to roll out the red carpet for the guy they traded to San Francisco 4 years ago?
Well, I want to say this right off. I mean, yes, that makes sense. I don't doubt that New England wants Jimmy Garoppolo. I think you're crazy, though, in thinking that they're just going to cut Jimmy Garoppolo. They're not going to just cut him. Well, they got to have somebody else a quarterback. Who are they going to have?
Right. That's what I'm saying. If they wait, wait for your guy Kyle Shanahan to get Sam Darnold or someone else that they regard as an upgrade, and then that's when they cut Jimmy Garoppolo.
Sure.
Teddy Bridgewater. They're making calls about Teddy Bridgewater reportedly.
So
the bar apparently is low, all due respect.
Well, yeah, like we talked about, yes. I mean, that one was the one that shocked me, certainly. And if I was Jimmy G, that'd be the one that I'd be, pissed at, like we talked about last week a little bit. The 49ers, they got three options to me. This can go three ways, right? And because I think if we're going to talk about Jimmy G in New England, we got to talk about what the hell the 49ers are going to do to have a quarterback, right, to give him to New England and make that happen.
Chris Simms coming out of retirement.
Well,
3 years younger than Tom Brady.
Yep, and a lot worse, so that nobody's going to want me. But the 49ers, I mean, of course, they could keep Jimmy G and then just find a backup for insurance. They could go that route. I don't think that's dead yet. I wouldn't.
Would you pay him $25 million?
I wouldn't love that, but I think with that contract right now, this day and age, for a guy that, wins football games, I don't think it's crazy. I could swallow that if I'm.
He wins. He wins when he plays.
I know. I get that. I understand that. But I think the contract
22
itself
wins. Chris, 22 wins, 23 games missed.
I got you all the way. But so if they keep him, okay, I don't know, maybe they can squeeze him or do something like that if they want. But either way, they need the backup if they do keep him. They need somebody viable. No more Johnny, we don't know your name and you're not that good, so you lose games for the 49ers. You got to get somebody else credible behind him. So there's that option. Then there is the they could do the draft. They're sitting there at number 12. I don't know. That's going to be risky. That's going to be no man's land. I don't know if you'll get any of the top three guys there. So you'd probably have to maybe trade up and do that. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know. I don't look at that. The 49ers are kind of in win now, right now, this second mode. Do they really want to bring the rookie in and do that? I know Shanahan's a mastermind and all that, and he could probably still win a lot of football games that way, but there's going to be, some bumps in the road and all that. And then the last thing is what I'm thinking is going to happen. That the Jets are looking at Zach Wilson and Mike LaFleur's going, wait, my brother Matt LaFleur's in Green Bay and he's got Aaron Rodgers. And wait, the guy that might be here at number 2 and I expect to be at number 2, he plays just like Aaron Rodgers. And oh yeah, I'm going to run the same offense my brother runs up in Green Bay. So I would think that would leave Sam Darnold on the table. And in my heart of hearts, or if anything, I could see that happening. That now Darnold, just like we saw with the Lions-Rams inside deal, coaches and people that move from one organization to the other, that conversation happens. And he goes there, and now New England and the 49ers also have history together. Shanahan and Belichick, we know there's a respect thing there. I mean, it's been widely documented. So I think when you connect the dots right there, you just go, it's almost too obvious not to think it's going to happen, honestly.
Right. Well, and you could see Garoppolo agreeing to a restructured contract as part of a trade that would send him back to New England. And if he's going to take a haircut, at least he controls his destination. He goes to where and he doesn't go through the indignity of being cut. I think there's value in that from an ego standpoint for Jimmy Garoppolo. But yeah, look, We suggested this as it related to Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes, the Lions GM, now coming from the Rams where he was the director of college scouting, certain amount of gratitude for being put in a position to get that job. So you provide the out for the Rams for Jared Goff. And you know Jared Goff, you like Jared Goff. They want to move on from Jared Goff, so you take Jared Goff and give them Matthew Stafford, and you also pick up a couple of first-round picks and a third-rounder. It's not like the Lions gave away Stafford, but having that relationship and having that level of, I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for you. There's that sense of loyalty and gratitude that can maybe grease the skids for getting a Darnold to San Francisco deal done, then allowing for the 49ers to show their gratitude to the Jets by helping solve the Patriots' dilemma at quarterback and sending Garoppolo back to New England.
Well, the other thing, too, with like the cut situation, too, that just comes to my mind here, and where I don't think, there is, you got New England, of course, who has history with Jimmy G. We know that. Then there's Houston down there, and depending on what happens at Sean Watson, listen, they're running the New England system there. They've kept the same staff or the same guys, on that offensive side of the ball. So and Nick Caserio, of course, was in New England as well. So I would think they're a team that if they do trade out to Deshaun Watson, maybe they're another team that gets involved and goes, hey, can we get a three-way trade here? Can we figure this out? So that's where I don't envision a Jimmy Garoppolo cut. If it's played right, they should be able to trade him and at least get something, even when we know it's inevitable that, they've moved on or they're making a move for Sam Darnold or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, and it just feels like something that quite possibly will happen, could happen. Maybe they hold on to Garoppolo until after they draft someone, if that's what they decide to do, because if you've traded Garoppolo to New England, then you've told the world you're looking at the first round for a quarterback. I'm thinking back to that where they sit at number 12, and if they're trying to trade up, all the stuff. You're right. There's different ways they can approach this, and it all comes down to what, number one, Kyle Shanahan thinks of the incoming rookies. Number two, what he thinks of the other available options. And number three, what he truly thinks of Jimmy Garoppolo. Not the stuff that he says publicly, but the stuff that he believes in his heart of hearts. That same heart that caused him to turn Jimmy Garoppolo into Bob Greasy from the first drive of the third quarter of the win over the Vikings in the 2019 playoffs through the end of the NFC Championship game, where it was, I'm not giving you the keys to the car. We're going to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Now, at some point between then and the Super Bowl, they trusted Jimmy Garoppolo again. But that's the question. Do they trust him to run the offense? Do they trust him to stay healthy? Do they trust him to pay him $25 million for this year? I think that you can't answer all three of those questions yes.
No, you're right. You can't. Well, and that is the reason we're talking about this right now. Because when you can't answer all those three yes, that's when you're not sure and you do look for an upgrade. And, of course, the biggest one is, like you've talked about, just the availability. That's scary in itself. That is. I mean, that's scary to coaches. I've been in, teams, locker rooms, and things like that. Coaches are talking about that, in closed rooms, about the quarterback. Can he stay healthy? Can we depend on him? All of those type of things. So it's a real issue. There's no doubt about it. We'll see where it goes. I mean, that's going to be another one that's going to be interesting, and that's where we need a few of these dominoes to fall to figure out who the hell's where this year playing quarterback with Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, and all this stuff.
Yeah, for all the expected movement of the quarterback carousel this year, there still hasn't been much.
No.
But we're 9 days away from the start of the new league year, and that's when all sorts of crazy things will happen, and that's when we'll start to get some clarity, because teams that are looking to address their quarterback needs aren't going to sit around and wait and wait and wait. Is Deshaun Watson going to be traded? Is Russell Wilson going to be traded? Is this guy going to be available? They're going to go find their guy and go forward with their plan for 2021. Otherwise, they end up with a C-level or D-level quarterback for 2021, and that's the kind of thing that can get guys fired.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.